5:40 in the morning in California, but over here in Chicago it's 7:40 in the morning. But in either way, it's 50 minutes before the market opens. Let's go ahead and see how the market is looking together. So here in the futures market, everything is looking pretty much random. Nothing really significant to say about the direction of the markets, except that obviously our Dow is up and our NASDAQ is down. So we have this disparity in the market again, where we're looking at more conservative type stocks. So a little bit of risk off, backing off of what we saw yesterday. We had a nice strong movement upward in S&P 500. So far, this is random movement, so there's still a decent possibility that we get that low above the MA200 today. And as long as we trend, for the most part, upwards today, then we can get that second day with the low above the MA200 that we're looking for to be optimistic that on the short term we might be moving up to the EMA 20 or MA 50. The treasuries are flat, so again, that gives us a reasonable chance, just 50-50 of whether or not we're going to go up or down. And we got oil going up a slight bit. So yesterday when we were talking about XLE possibly bouncing from where we are from this horizontal level right here, it's looking at least at the open, it's looking a little bit optimistic. Let's take a look at what our volatility is doing. Volatility is flat from yesterday, tiny bit up, 0.11. So again, everything is looking very neutral this morning. It's really going to depend on how we react to all this earnings, all the earnings that are coming out this morning, the ones that came out yesterday afternoon. So let's take a look at the major ones, those really big players that we talked about yesterday. Okay, so we had Microsoft, and you know what? The ones that we're going to look at, those are going to be our candidates for day trading. So we see the S&P 500, let's remove these drawings, is opening a little bit down from, or at least it looks like it's going to open a little bit down. Our futures are indicating that we might be a little bit down from yesterday. Okay, so we'll put our 3 lines right there. Let's take a look at Tesla. We will keep Tesla for our day trading. And you can see that this is really quiet. This is really quiet compared to what we've been used to see all last week, all the week before. We had huge movement, huge direction in the pre-market session. It looked very similar to a normal session, and today we're just a lot more quiet and muted. So this market is really looking for direction right now, and so far the futures was not able to give it to us. Let's take a look over here at Google. Lots of movement on Google, and looks like we might have not really done much since what we saw last night. Right, we had that huge movement downwards and then a little bit of consolidation, and we moved up, moved down. We just ended up in the same place in terms of where the aftermarket session ended and where we are currently in the pre-market. So again, a lot of indecision inside of this market, a lot of wait and see. So a lot is going to be determined by the first hour. So we're basically what it's looking like is institutions are going to wait. They're going to let that first half hour to an hour volatility play itself out. That's going to be mostly retail traders reacting to earnings news. and then the institutions will come in. So personally, I wouldn't be doing anything in the market in the first hour. Day trading, swing trading, doesn't matter. I would mostly avoid the markets, look for that direction, or at least a clue as to the range of where we might be trading today after that first hour. So all these levels that I'm drawing, we're going to redraw or we're going to add lines to them an hour into the market. Okay, and Microsoft, we're at least getting some direction in Microsoft. So we are higher than we were in the aftermarket session when we looked at it last night. We had that gap up, then a lot of really choppy trading, but mostly we sideways. And today in the pre-market, we opened a little bit lower and consolidated, but now as we're heading towards the open, you can see how this is heading higher. So I'm going to draw my lines here as of the current situation, but of course, by the time we open, this could be higher, in which case we'd move the line. But again, personally, I would wait an hour and draw new lines and see how that trends upwards. So the only thing that we've looked at so far that indicates any sort of direction is Microsoft. If that is going to give us clues, Microsoft by itself enough to lift the markets up? Maybe. It is a very large cap stock, probably about 10-ish% of the entire S&P 500. And again, we have the Dow Jones moving upwards. So it looks like a real mixed bag so far. And we also had the energies moving upwards. So I would keep my eye on Tesla, Alphabet, Microsoft for sure. Those are huge large cap stocks that have potential to actually determine the direction of the S&P 500, and then keep my eye out on energies. But this might be a really volatile day, and it could be one to sit out actually, not only just the first hour, but the entire session, and we can just see. So we really need an indication of market direction, and nothing's been given to us so far. We've got the VIX flat, we've got treasuries flat, we've got markets undecided as to where they really want to go. We have tiny, tiny little indications from Microsoft and the energy markets, but for the most part, we haven't been able to glean a lot of useful information. So a good idea may be to just wait and see how the entire day plays out. Do we get that low above that MA 200? Do we get a red bar? Do we get a green bar? So for the most part, I personally would be just waiting this out and see. If we lose a day of trading, it's not a big deal. It's much better to have our capital preserved, and when we get a clear indication of what we might want to do, then we would go ahead and take our position at that point in time. All right, guys, good luck today, and I will see you in the after session.